There are a lot of videos out there telling you to move to Houston, and this one isn't one of them. Today, I'm breaking down the top 5 suburbs people are leaving in 2025, or at least where the market is shifting, demand is a little softer, and it's not quite as hot as it used to be. This isn't just about population data. I scored the suburbs on 5 different factors: inventory levels, price trends, buyer demand, overbuilding, and whether homes are actually selling or not. And no, I'm not saying these places are bad, but if you're buying or selling in Houston right now, you deserve to know where the cracks are forming and where things may have shifted in the last couple of years. Number 5 on the list is Fulshear. This area was a pandemic boomtown, and now it is struggling with too much inventory. Fulshear came in with a score of 16 out of 25. And this particular suburb isn't about people leaving the suburb, it's about a suburb that grew too fast and now has too much inventory. Between 2020 and 2024, Fulshear's population exploded by 200%, and builders ran with it. Entire communities came up overnight. But now in 2025, the pace has slowed, and we have a 25% increase in inventory month over month, which is a pretty big jump. And it's not just resale inventory in this area. New construction in this area has a lot of inventory that they're trying to unload right now. Because the buyer pool is much smaller in 2025 and people are not moving as much as they were, in this area you're going to see a lot of builder incentives, especially in the high production single builder communities. And when there's a lot of new construction in an area and it's surging with inventory, everyone, resale, new construction, they're all competing with the same very small pool of buyers. And that's what we're seeing right now in Fulshear. Homes that would have been snapped up really quickly a couple of years ago are now sitting on the market a little bit longer, especially if they are not priced right or they are missing upgrades. And there are still pockets of Fulshear that are still very, very strong, like Cross Creek Ranch and Jordan Ranch. Those are very popular still for people relocating here. But overall, compared to their 200% population increase, things have slowed down quite a bit in the Fulshear area. So Pearland landed at number 4 with 17 out of 25 points. And this one used to be the obvious pick, close to town, great schools, more affordable than the west side. But now, as of 2025, the data suggests that the growth is kind of flatlined and things in this area are dragging a little bit more than average. Prices for this area are actually up. The median price is $420,000 and there's been an 8% appreciation year over year. However, that's not really the full picture in what sellers in this area are actually experiencing, because price reductions are up 64% and the average days on market is now sitting well over 40 days. And if your house isn't updated or staged well in this area, it's probably not moving very quickly. The truth is I've had a few buyers look in Pearland and then immediately shift to Manville or Rochon, where they're getting new construction, better finishes, and better pricing compared to Pearland. It's not that Pearland is expensive, it's just not offering as much as it used to compared to the new construction popping up a little further out from it. But if you're buying here now, just know that if you're considering this area, you probably have options because it's not really a very hot market at this moment. Sugar Land came in at number 3 with a score of 18 out of 25. And unlike Fulshear and Pearland, this one is not about new construction or traffic. This one is about what happens when a suburb reaches its peak. The truth is that Sugar Land is built out, it's dating, and the people who are still there generally are staying put. They paid off their home, they're getting tax breaks, and they're not in any rush to move or upgrade. So the homes that do hit the market, they're often older, they're not updated, and they're usually priced based on what their neighbor got a couple of years ago. And that's part of the reason inventory is up 94% in the Sugar Land area. Not because there are a ton of listings, it's because a lot of them are not updated and what the buyer in this type of market is looking for. They're just not moving very fast. Even in the really good neighborhoods with excellent rated schools, buyers are pausing, especially if the home still looks like it did did in 2006. The demand isn't gone, it's just slower, more selective, and definitely more price sensitive than it has been in the past. And this isn't me saying Sugar Land is going downhill. It is still safe, and it is still beautiful, and it still has excellent rated schools. Just trying to help you understand the current data. Number 2 on my list is Conroe. Conroe came in at 18 out of 25. This one isn't about bad schools or people moving away. This one is about how aggressively builders have flooded the Conroe market. We're talking single builder, high production builders putting new construction homes up at scale. Miles of spec homes, often looking very similar and very similar price point, all competing for the same buyer. On the surface, it looks like great news for buyers. New homes, incentives, move-in ready, but it's really not that simple. Inventory is up 20% in many of the areas, and the resale homes in Conroe are getting absolutely buried by the competition of new construction in the area. And a lot of sellers in that area are pulling their listings all together because they just can't compete with the high production home builders. For this area in particular, I really want buyers to think about what home builders they're buying from and at what phase of the neighborhood and what type of neighborhood. I've seen a lot of people buy into neighborhoods thinking that they got a really great deal with incentives, only to realize 6 months later their same exact floor plan is now selling for less money with additional incentives. And this is how people are ending up in the red. Production builders are in the business of turning over as many homes as quickly as possible, however they can. It's not about quality and it's not about long-term appreciation. Also for Conroe, days on market has jumped up significantly, especially for the $400,000 to $550,000 range. If you're looking in the Conroe area, just go slow. Compare builder incentives, research the development of your neighborhood or the area that you're considering. Don't rush into the first deal that you find because you really have to think long-term when you're buying these types of new construction homes. Conroe altogether still has a long-term upside. You just got to know where to buy and where to look. Katy came in at number 1 with a score of 22 out of 25. And I want to be really clear up front. Katy is still one of the most desirable suburbs in the Houston area. People love Katy for the schools, the retail, the communities, the overall lifestyle. And I'm not saying that part has changed. What has changed about Katy is the structure of the market. Katy used to feel like one big opportunity zone. Now it is clearly split up into 3, maybe 4 very noticeable submarkets. And depending on where you're looking, you could either be going into appreciation or a slowdown. The first submarket is the established areas, neighborhoods like Cinco Ranch, Seven Lakes, Grand Lakes. All of these still very, very strong. If it is updated and priced right, it's going under contract very fast. These are the neighborhoods with proven demand, great schools, mature trees, and very stable resale. These areas, they are not struggling. The second submarket of Katy is the new construction, especially north of I-10 and west of 99. This area is where I'm seeing the biggest inventory spike, almost 30% inventory increase in this area month over month. A lot of it is leftover inventory and spec homes from when builders were pushing through the interest rates when they were high. And right now they're offering rate buy downs, they're offering crazy incentives to stay relevant and to compete with one another, which can eventually cause the same problem that it's causing in parts of Conroe. And then there's that third submarket that people don't really talk about, but again, similar to Sugar Land, it is those peaked neighborhoods. These are the early 2000 master plans. They're not old enough to be established and timeless, but they're also not new enough to feel fresh. They're kind of stuck. You've got homes with dated finishes that are priced a little too high, that are becoming very stagnant, but they're struggling because they don't have the character of the established master plan communities, and they also don't have the features of new construction. Think Sugar Land, but in Katy. It's the same kind of story. Still safe, still desirable, but it's not gaining the momentum it once did. Values in that area have stalled and buyers are getting a little pickier. So yes, Katy still has many strong pockets and areas. I work in Katy every single day. It's still very popular, still very desirable. I know that the demand is very, very real, but you really cannot treat Katy all the same anymore. If you want something that's going to hold value and appreciate over time, you really have to know where to look within Katy. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe as it helps the algorithm know that this is good information. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.